I had anticipated on being here at 7, but Mrs. L tonight and I took in Sound of Freedom, and I think this was the second time in I don't know how long I've been at a movie theater here in the Upper West Side on the evening of 4th of July. Very beautiful night, very beautiful. Nice weather. People were out. Lincoln Center was looking good. Got a wonderful picture of a man. I'm going to post playing Baroque music on an upright bass. It's just fantastic. I don't think it was a cello, but I don't know. Anyway, it's a beautiful night. People were excited. Loads of immigrant families. Loads. You can see them walking around. Loads with new devices, new shoes, new clothes. Very nice families. Obviously immigrant. American families, I don't think get that, but we see them, and you know what? But it's very, very nice, I guess. You know, it's interesting. It's nice to see families, very well behaved people. I don't know what they're doing during the day. I don't know if anybody's checking on them. I have no idea. But that was that. And before we get to the movie, I've got to tell you that Americans and a lot of people are just pigs. Boorish, classless, fat, gross, nasty, boorish pigs who don't know how to live in public with anybody else. There was a woman in the movie theater with a bag of something. I don't know what it was. I don't know why she could not master it, but she was trying to pull the cellophane apart rather than tearing it or whatever it was. And it sounded like it was the fight of her life, like she was in a death fight, death grip, death match with this. Unbelievable. And it's so loud. And it's a movie about human trafficking with serious moments. And whoever came up with this idea of having, assigned seats with these morons who don't know how to read. Is this L? What? I mean, this is why I hate people. I hate people. And all night, with this, I wanted to grab the bag, throw it out, open up the door, throw it out, and throw them out. You two, throw them out. Go outside. You're animals. You don't know how to live. Don't you know that you're making noise? Shut up. Go away. Go to another planet. I don't know where you've been your whole life. These are people, they're not kids. I don't want to say they're elderly. I just don't understand why do. And people have this idea that when you get up and you need a chair for stability, you're grabbing my chair and pulling it back. And nobody has the courtesy to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that." And I've got news for you too. You can't start yapping at each other during the previews or during whatever. That's not the okay for you to start yapping and talking and I gotta go. Who wants to go? Do you want to go to the ladies' room? What is with women? I've never understood this. To this day, I've never asked, what is with this? I want to go. Do you want to go? Who wants to go? Who wants to watch me? I'm going to go micturate. Anybody? Anybody want to see me? I'm going. Marion, do you want to go with me? Lorraine, who wants to go with me? I'm going to go to the ladies' room. And I'm going to announce this so everybody knows. While this moron in the back with the bag and I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. And I'm seeing nothing but anyway. Let's talk about the movie. Go see it. Jim Caviezel, go see it. God bless these people. Go see it. Go see it. Go see it. Go see it. It's a wonderful message. It is absolutely terrific. I don't care what anybody tells you. I don't care what anybody tells you. They're making Jim Caviezel out to be some kind of a nut, because he's Christian. He's Christian, so therefore he's got to be a nut, right? Is that the way that works? Of course. Of course. I understand. I get it. Everybody's a nut. Go see it. I'm not going to critique the movie itself. I'm not going to talk about that. Let me just tell you this much. Oh, Mowerman's back. Wishing you and Mrs. L a wonderful 4th of July and many happy returns. And yes, what the American populace has degenerated into a big part of the reason why we are where we are today. People with no sense of decency. Thank you, Mowerman. But also, it's a lack of everything. But the good news is, this theater was packed. This is a big Sony IMAX, big theater. Upper West Side's big. Now, they have a program. At the end, Jim Caviezel says, buy a ticket for someone else who can't go. They couldn't get any studio funding for this. Nobody wanted it. It's Tim Ballard. They put the kibosh on him. Why? Because he was a Trump supporter. And let me also tell you something. And it's obvious, and you can take it for what it's worth. And let me just see if I can put it to you this way. And Mowerman, I think you'd agree with me. What they're trying to tell you is very simply this. We don't want to talk about trafficking, child trafficking, human trafficking. We don't want to even raise this subject. We don't want to encourage the subject. Why? When you look at what Hollyweird has been doing since the beginning of day one, what Hollywood stars are doing, what we are doing, what Epstein has been doing, how others have been doing, we want to just turn that subject matter off. The more we acknowledge it, the more we recognize it, the more we discuss it, the more we keep people aware of it, the more people will ask us, well, what are you doing exactly? What are you doing precisely about this? And we don't want them to know that we're doing nothing. We're doing absolutely nothing. We don't care about this. We don't care about human trafficking. This is the government. This is the government as it stands. Now, we don't care even about transgender, non-binary trafficking. We don't care about that. We'll talk about global warming, Greta Thunberg, we'll talk about that. But when it comes to sex and degeneracy, we don't want you to even make the connection that anything goes wrong, anything is awry, because we want you to not stop and say, wait a minute. How bad is this trafficking? No. Keep moving along. Keep moving along. We don't want you to talk about that. We don't talk about it. We don't care about it. We don't care about this, or your kids, or abductions, or what your kids see. We don't want anybody to sit there and say, wait a minute, why are you talking about child abductions when you're basically, in some cases, kidnapping our own kids and sending them off to be castrated and mutilated and puberty blocked? See, they just don't want you to say, oh, yeah, that's right. So what do? They just don't talk about it. And, of course, because Donald Trump did more about this subject than anybody else, they don't want any connections being made, because these people are degenerates. Now, how did this story come out that they found cocaine at the White House? Who let that story out? Who let that story out? Do you know what was on? We still don't know. Can we get an inventory of everything was found on the Hunter Biden tape, the laptop? Is there anything in there that we shouldn't know about? Probably not. We don't know. It is the most incredible story in the world. But let me go back to this one, Jim Caviezel. It was so wonderful to hear somebody talk about God in a movie. The references were made to God and his powerful faith. And it was so refreshing. It was like somebody opened up a window and it was let the funk out of the room. And by the way, there's some other movies that are coming up. There's a movie about a young man. I think it's by the same studio or similar. This young man who wanted to go into baseball, and he had paralyzed legs. He had braces, and it's kind of like a Rudy kind of a story. I think made by the same people who did Rudy. One of those movies, I'll take that. There was another one too. It was a movie about just plain old, not family values, not Christian, but just not this usual take a story and force into it some trans-binary, non-binary aspect that doesn't make it. It's like, why are you doing this? You're cheapening the story. You're taking everything. Let's take Little Mermaid and make it into this. Let's take this. Pretty soon, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is going to be, I don't know what. 4th of July, the most lousy coverage anybody has ever seen. Because the people in charge absolutely hate America. And let me also tell you one thing. The biggest pile of crap is this movie Oppenheimer. I have studied that story to the point where I've for years, from Szilard to Leslie Groves to you name it, and Kitty Oppenheimer and who Oppenheimer is, and he was a New Yorker, very, very, very rich family. I mean, they were loaded. I mean to tell you, like you cannot believe. And they were lived in the Upper West Side, and he went to the cultural school and ethical school of culture, ethical whatever studies, or on the Upper West Side, and had communist leanings. Later on, lost his. I've been through this. But you're going to have Brad Pitt as Leslie Groves? Come on, please. Sorry. I despise Hollywood. I despise it. I was listening today, watching a great special on the wonderful Johnny Mercer. Perhaps one of the greatest lyricists, maybe of all time. And I just love to hear beautiful, incredible lyrics from a time where poetry and words meant something versus the garbage that we've got today. I swear to God, I sound like something from some morality group. I despise these people. But here's the good news. There are so many of us. And let me tell you, who are we? Who is this us I talk about? Let me tell you who we are. Would you like me to tell you? Let me tell you. We are people who believe in live and let live. We don't give a rat's ass what your sexuality is. Just leave kids alone. Let me say that again. Did you miss it in the back, in the cheap seats? Let me say it. Leave kids alone. You can walk around and call yourself a rooster. It doesn't matter. We are adults. We've seen things in our lives that you cannot possibly imagine. And some so-called non-binary with a nose ring and tattoos is nothing to us. We're not children. There are many people here who have been to war. There are some of us who've seen murders and scenes and death and carnage. We don't care about that as long as you leave kids alone. There are many of us who believe, frankly, that much of what you are saying right now is garbage. There are people who all of a sudden, for no particular reason that we cannot figure out where this comes from, all of a sudden they are now completely immersing themselves in worlds of false, faux, fictional, manufactured sexual confusion. It's garbage. But that's your life. Needless confusion, needless obfuscation of reality, needless self-mutilation and tattoos and fitting in because you don't have any soul. You don't have any belief. You don't have any core anything. You've got no self-respect. You don't have a country. You don't have a faith. You don't have anything. You don't have confidence. You don't have a belief. You're just like a little dandelion that just floats, a will-o'-the-wisp. You just float in the air. And whatever comes along, that's you. You have no politics to speak of. You don't have any sense of history. You don't even stand for anything. You make these vague general statements about Ukraine or something. You don't know anything. And I pity you. I really do. And the best part is your own party is not the Democratic Party. They couldn't care less about you. They're going to sell you out. And to all my African-American friends, guess where the money's going? Not you. I can show you. Why do you think all these people are here? Now, Tucker Carlson, your boyfriend, the genius in your mind, Tucker Carlson came up with this thing years ago that said, you know, he talked about a replacement theory. Oh, God, they got on him and they said, you are so racist. You are the most... And that's when you know they're right. You only take flack when you're over the target. You're right. They're right. Got it. Got it, Tucker. Got to hit a nerve. Hit a nerve. That's exactly. So, African American, you think you're going to get anywhere with this reparation stuff? And by the way, do you think you're going to get the money for the reparation? Do you think they're going to cut you a check? Oh, there's going to be a processing agency. Do you think Ukraine got the money? Let me try this again. You can't be this stupid. You don't think you get the money. You don't think one day, hey, I went to my bank today and I got $250,000 in my bank account. You don't think that, do you? Tell me you don't think that. They're playing you for chumps. You're not the future. These people I see every day. I mean, families, hard-working, good people, and they vote. They're obeisant. They're glad to be here. They don't cause any problems, and they do as they're told. It's a new story. And you don't see that, do you? Another one, too, is, by the way, to all my dear gay friends, my LGB friends, they don't care about you. It's the trans folks. They don't care about you. And here's a word you never hear anymore. Lesbian. Who? Lesbian. Mower Man says, give me one from my baby, one more from... Oh, yeah. It's 2:45. No one in the place, but... I know what I'm listening to when we are finished, sir. Great music from back in before the goofy fireworks craziness starts. Absolutely. Johnny Mercer. Listen to, of all... I love Tony Bennett's version. Oh. The Saloon Song. So set 'em up, Joe. I got a story you should know. About a brief episode. Oh, my God. It's a saloon pouring your heart out, drinking, and I broke my heart. Oh, man. Beautiful. But the good news is there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people who are saying this is stupid. And by the way, the woke business, not Democrats, because Democrats don't exist anymore. Sarah Jessica Parker. By the way, Mira Sorvino was in this movie. She had 3 lines. I think she had 3 lines. 3. I think 3. Maybe 4. It was a bit of a stretch. 4. Sarah Huckabee Sanders said, you got to decide whether between the normal and the crazy or whatever it is. But you know what they really are there? It's silly. I want to ask these people, let me ask you a question. When you trot out that weird, kind of creepy Greta Thunberg, do you think she's effective at anything? You do, don't you? I think these people think she really says something. She's a joke. Nobody listens to her. Nobody. Even the people who are there, oh, it's Greta Thunberg. What the hell is she? Why is she? She's the Rula Lenska of her time. What is she doing? What is Greta Thunberg have to do? How dare you? I couldn't be in school. You're 35 years old. Shut up, will you? We got it. Why are you here? I don't know. They keep ringing. Well, who are you? Who are you? Where did you come from? Under what? By what authority? Who? Pete Booty Giggity Giggity. You can't drag his ass out of anything. He won't do anything. He won't go anywhere. He won't do anything. He doesn't care. But Greta Thunberg, you can't shut her up. It's the most amazing thing ever. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. It's just, oh my God. It's the weirdest. But there were a lot of us, a lot of good folks that they really watched it. Go see that Sound of Freedom. Don't bring kids. This is not for kids. This is not, I don't know. Because people are so crazy. They bring kids to stuff. Well, I mean, we're destroying kids and their life anyway, and their sense of normalcy and their sense of what is and isn't justice and right. Today, Joey Chestnut broke a record, ate 67 hot dogs. I think that is the most stupid thing I've ever seen in my life. Let me just say this again. Competitive food eating is the most stupid. Have you ever seen it? It's disgusting. They're eating this stuff. They're sticking the buns in water, and you know what I know. And what's the question you want to know? Be honest with you. What is the main thing you want after you eat 62 hot dogs? What is that like? Does this guy grab like the Milwaukee phone book, bolt himself into the John, bring an exhaust fan and smudge pots and loud like sirens to cover up the screams and the noise? Can you imagine the noise? Dear God. What are you doing there? You ate 62 hot dogs. What is the point? 62. Why? There's this other guy, Furious Pete. These are morons. And people watch. I'm going to take the burrito challenge. And they're scooping this stuff. I'm just like, I know. You know what I wish people would do? Now, you know what I would watch? Nobody throws up. They don't throw up, by the way. Sorry, there's no emesis. You know what I wish people would do? And you can't do this. I love to see drinking. I love to see, okay, who can sit there and drink the most without, dying, and do who can just basically keep their head up. I've got my team. There was an Irish bar. There was a guy who was almost 90 years old. He holds the record for continuous, he held it that for years, for continuous drinking at a bar. Continuous. It was like 48 hours. It was during the World Cup. Bar never closed. Just never closed. He didn't move. I mean, he went to the John, but he never, ever And I think, I don't know, a couple cases, nobody knows. It was the most incredible thing. That's what I like to see. How many people could just drink and just say, and have them do tests, things like that? Reading from, Beowulf or something like that. But let me go back to the movie Sound of Freedom. What made me sick was they said, and Tim Ballard testified before Congress. Oh, no, testify for Congress. Oh, forget it. That's where dreams go to die. That's where dreams go to die. And they talked about God doesn't let, God's children are not for sale. I'd love to sit there and say, well, God, you did a great job with this crew. Great job. Now listen, Your Honor, I may not be, I am certainly not the most moral person, people, I guess. I'm pretty good, though. I don't bother anybody. Don't defile my marriage. None of that stuff. Don't hurt anybody. I don't do that. Just don't do it. And you know why I don't do it? I don't want to do that. It's not like I'm fighting it. I just don't want to do that. Why would you want to do that? And most people do the same way. But what your vile species does to children at numbers, people think it's rare. They say, well, it's not that many. Oh, really? Are you kidding me? This government could, I guarantee you, if this government of ours, they're so big where they talk about slavery. Oh, we're going to have reparations. How about stopping this slavery now? Well, we'll get to that later. But I want to pay people back. What is your name? Are you a descendant of a slave? I guess. Well, that's good enough. What do you want? $250,000? How many in your family? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 1.63 million. Do you have a bank account? Do you have a routing number? We'll send you your money. Why? Because, whatever. What about the trafficking now? We'll get to that in a moment. No, you can stop. This is slavery. Slavery. Kids. I don't want to compare anything, but they're using kids 8, 9, 10 years, 5, 6, 7 times a day. They're using these kids until they just disintegrate. And then there's organ harvesting. I know nobody wants to talk about that, but we talked to somebody from South America who saw that. They thought it was voodoo at first. They thought it was like, they said, my God. These people are like gutted. And somebody says, wait a minute. No, this is for transplant. What? Oh, yeah. And what's going on here? Oh, yeah, that's right. Right. Josh Hawley, he's talking about, what's he talking? Oh, yeah. What's he talking about? Facebook? Well, that's good. That's good. Or maybe Hunter's problem. We have slavery going on. Slavery around the world. What's the UN doing? Nothing. What's the World Economic Forum doing? Nothing. Agenda 21, my ass. Agenda 2030, nothing. Nobody's doing anything. Kids, children, plucked, and people being used and grabbed and lured by virtue of our phones. And wait until, oh, dear God. No. Maybe there's a way we might want to use AI to kind of perhaps work to maybe help, maybe do something to provide a way of tracking kids down, I guess. I don't know. How about this one? AI, by the way, is going to pick up one day. Your kid's going to get a phone or call or something, or I don't know what. It takes 3 seconds to hear your kid's phone call before deep fakes can do it. We can do it. Can mimic your child's voice. Hey, Mom, yeah, listen, I'm not getting a job. And they need I don't have my social security number. What is it again? Hey, Mom, I'm held captive. It's not. It's AI. Look, I realize I'm wasting my time. I'm talking about AI. When I can get people to stop slavery, kids being tattooed, kids being marked, here in this country, you don't want to hear the number of people who are selling their own kids into slavery here. Nobody's looking. Nobody cares about this stuff. They don't care. You don't understand. Your government doesn't care. They pretend to care about things like non-binary hate speech in some place, I guess, or whatever it is. You are being conned. We are living in a cesspool. But the good news is there are so many of us. Now, if we can get, maybe it might take, like this movie said, it's the storyteller. Maybe it might go from this to something else. Maybe somebody might, I don't know, be inspired to maybe run for office and say, hello, I want to buy some time. What about this? Use social media. Hello, my name is Congressman such and such, and I've been here for a year. And do you know that I walked around here and I'm a congressman, and there's not a damn thing anybody's doing about child trafficking. Did you know that? And I went to each committee and I'm saying, what's going on? They're saying, we don't have time for that. You don't have time for that. Let me get this straight. You don't have time for that. Nope. What do you have time for? Giving money away to Ukraine. Talking about, I don't know what. Slavery? So I went to the Black Caucus and said, hey, anybody want to help me out with slavery? Nah, excuse me. Let me say this again. Slavery? You're big on reparations. You have been talking about slavery and reparations since I've been here. So you have this incredible keen insight into slavery. What about this slavery? Well, that's different. How is that different? You haven't thought about that. There's no money in that. I don't get it. I don't get anything. But there's hope. So Jim Caviezel, God bless him. People made him out to be a nut. Oh, I made the Passion of the Christ. So what? So what? Big deal. Would you prefer what? A woke non-binary version? Doesn't matter. No. And if you remember Passion of the Christ, Pilate was remember that very effeminate, over the top? Remember that one? That was interesting. That was Mel Gibson giving you his version. By the way, Mel Gibson has nothing to do with this movie. He's just kind of helping it along. But nothing. Nobody cares about anything. But Jim Caviezel, and they talk about, and there's a wonderful what's his name, Sean something. He was an ex-SEAL. There's like 9 million of these ex-SEALs on. Good for them. But you know, he had Jim Caviezel on. He says, here's a rosary. And I think, you know what? Good. They're talking about this. I just wish people would do me a favor. Try this for me. Just the F-bomb. In 1 month, a little over a month, I'm going to be 65 years old. I love saying that like you cannot believe. I love it. I have heard more F-bomb. I know the word. I was there when Pryor started and Carlin. And you know what? It's overused. It's like a spice, like too much cilantro. Lay off this. Stop it. It doesn't make you a man. Please, I'm going to change the subject. This is my new thing right now. Men, you don't have to go out and challenge other men to judo or boxing or whatever the hell you're doing. What is this? Mark Zuckerberg said, I'm gonna challenge you. I'm into martial arts. Okay, I'm not a weirdo. Okay, Zuckerberg. No, I'm tough. I'm Taekwondo. Okay, that's great. Gee, there's something nobody's ever thought about. Huh? A guy is into martial arts. Oh no, I'm into this. And Joe Rogan, I'm into Muay Thai, and I'm into rear naked choke. Okay, everybody's like so desperate to prove how tough they are. Have you noticed this? I'm a man. I'm into fighting. I got tattoos. I'm SEAL Team 6. I'm this and that. Is that it for you? Yes. Yes. And Lex Friedman, he's getting choked out by, what the hell is going on here? Tonight we have Noam Chomsky and Brian Grain. And Chomsky's in a rear, it's a leg lock. It's a suplex. It's a snapmare. It's a, what is happening to us? We have women who don't exist anymore. I don't even know where they are. And by the way, can I say something to you? I'm going to say something that is so petty, but I'm going to say it. What is with... Okay, I'm going to say it. What is with extremely obese women wearing extremely short shorts so that when they walk, it's almost like this isn't even... If put it this way, if they wore corduroy, they'd catch on fire. The friction. What is with this? Women don't exist. I don't know where this is. Femininity? Where is that? Unless it's a man. Then I see it, but not with women. Okay, fine, I got that one. So you got women who look like men, and the women who are the most elegant are men. All right? And then we got men who are so worried they're not men, they want to choke each other. Meanwhile, they want to roll around on the floor, constantly rubbing up against each other to show how masculine they are. They spend hour after hour after hour with their crotches and faces. What is happening here? Excuse me, if I didn't know better, I'm thinking everybody's forgotten what they are. You don't have to do this. How about Oppenheimer and Leslie Groves in a Shinnomaki, kind of a Tosh Togo? We can do that Gracie kind of jujitsu. We are so messed up as a people. We are so, seriously. I mean, honest to God. Honest to God. Nobody knows anymore. Intelligence has nothing to do with anything. Oh, but excuse me, there is. Let me say that again. Let me strike that. And this is something where Lex Friedman, when he's not trying to choke out Mark Zuckerberg, some of the smartest people I've ever heard aren't the physicists anymore, but the intelligence people. They are off the charts. Ed Witten is I'm listening to this stuff and I love it so much. But who knows? Maybe Eliezer Yudkowsky and maybe Penrose will get into a figure four, maybe a sleeper, some type of a cat's cradle or a neck breaker, a standing guillotine. What is the matter with this? Why? What happened? What happened to this? Do you remember in your life ever seeing more people wanting to roll around on the floor to prove they're a man? I don't get it. It's like, well, you sure like that, don't you? Yeah, you must like that. All sweaty, and you like that, don't you? Yeah, you're a couple of tough guys. Oh, you choked him out real good. You want to do it again, don't you? Why don't you get his number? What the hell's going on here? But you're a man, and then, anyway. So, my friends, go see Sound of Freedom. Don't bring your kids. It's based on a true story. Chances are, that normally means is, I don't know how much of this is real. Do not critique it. Spread the word. We're donate free tickets to see people make it the biggest hit and drive these woke lunatics nuts. You understand what I'm saying? And Jim Caviezel, God bless Jim Caviezel. I don't care if he's a Catholic, a Christian, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Good for him. If he's some kind of a Satanist, I got to listen to this crap, but he can't be it? No. Good for him. Good for him. That's all I'm going to say. All right, dear friends. You have a great Yoga pants should have a weight limit. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? And can you please tell me, why is it? Why? When did pajamas at airports, when did this come? And those scuffy slideys with the little ankle socks? This is the most stupid. And let me tell you something. If somebody said, okay, do you want to live forever? No, not forever. But please, let me live long enough to enjoy this headline. Tattoos are down 50%. Why? They're passé now. Tattoo removals are all over the place. Tattoos are now considered boorish because you see these old people that said, hello, I made this tattoo when I was 20. I'm 73 right now, and it didn't hold up well. It looks like a big bruise. And my wife, she got them dangly things under her arm, and that spider web. Well, I don't know what it is. You can't even read what it was. It's just a mess. And she got that there tramp stamp. We don't even know what that is. We don't even know what her skin, I don't know what the hell happened between the, well, it's just a mess. So all you youngins, remember, tattoos look good when you're young and your skin's tight, but when you're older, it takes on a whole new thing, and it's disgusting. I can't wait for them to say, so, how do you feel now? You've got this ugly thing on your hand, your hands are covered, you've got these brown things, you've got stuff on your face, and it's falling. So when you go get your face tightened, it'll even obscure the image of the tattoo even more. What were you thinking? Let me tell you what you were thinking. You weren't thinking anything because you don't have a soul. You don't have a guts. You don't have a backbone. You don't have a spirit. You are like these people, smelling each other's crotch, rolling around on the floor to act masculine. What the hell is gone wrong with people? And then this one's smoking his brains out. This one's doing edibles. I'm telling you. So, okay, God, they're all yours. This is your creation. Good for you. Must be proud. Yeah. And people wonder, I wonder why the extraterrestrials don't visit us. You are kidding, right? You are kidding. You are kidding. We had a guy today who's eating 62 hot dogs. People going, yes. Yes. And he's dipping. I'm an alien. I realize that. So happy birthday, America. Make sure you go yet again. Make sure you do what I say. You go see Sound of Freedom. Not The Sound. Sound of Freedom. Please. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful piece. It is so terrific. And God bless Jim Caviezel. And Mel Gibson. You know why? Because the left hates him. And what does not destroy me makes me stronger. And what those sick people hate, I love. How do you like that one? I love whatever these people do that drives these other people nuts. I love them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does this make any sense to you? I hope so. I hope it does. Because that's critical. Because I have never felt so much of an outsider in my own country, in my life. I've always felt a bit of a freak, a little bit, kind of a bit of a maverick. You know, I'm kind of used to that, but not like this. Nope, not like this at all. So anyway, dear friends, I hope you have a great and a glorious and a wonderful evening. I hope you and everybody that you know is healthy. Remember that you live in a wonderful country. I don't want to say to my friends that we're the best country in the world, and I don't know if I can say that. I honest to God, I don't know if I'm not. Is France calmed down? Do we know? I don't know. We just stop. Remember the yellow vest? Remember?
See, though, the shooter in Philadelphia is a trans BLM activist.
A trans BLM activist?
So we won't be hearing much about that.
Well, what do you know about that? How about that? Well. Interesting. You know what? That's fascinating. Because that would only be fair. See, if they told you the truth, that would be kind of fair. And nobody wants to be fair in this world. Nobody particularly cares for that. Isn't that something? All right. I don't know why I cannot close anything down in my my stuff tonight. Very, very strange. This is the weirdest thing. I'd love to wrap this up, but I can't even, it won't turn off. This is weird. Very strange. All right, dear friends. I don't know how to do this. I may have to just shut down my whole... This is the strangest. I can't shut it down. I mean, I like it and everything, but, but enough's enough. Hang on a minute. What is this? Maybe this is it. In any event. Okay, well, whatever. So listen, we'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Sorry for the delay tonight. Please go see Sound of Freedom. We'll see you then. Follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. Sign up right now. And until we see each other again, this is your new best friend, Lionel, reminding you to always comment as you see fit. So don't forget this. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta. Now let's see if I can close this thing down. I don't think so. I can't even close this down. This is the weirdest thing. It won't turn off. I'm going to have to restart and reboot the whole computer. So I'm sorry to do that. So I'm going to have to do that. It's very rude. All right, dear friends. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Same time, same bad.